April 25th, 1980. The Iranian desert. Darkness everywhere. 8 American helicopters are somewhere out there, scattered across hundreds of miles of sand.
Get back, everyone, get back!
One is burning. The crew is dead. And the most elite soldiers the United States military has ever assembled are standing in the middle of a war zone with no way out. The mission is over before it ever really began. But the story of how America got here, how the most powerful military on Earth failed so completely on its very first attempt to use its most secret weapon, that story starts long before the desert. It starts with a president running out of options, a general with an impossible plan, and a unit so new that most of the country didn't even know it existed. This is the story of Delta Force, and this is the mission that nearly destroyed it before it could save anyone. November 4th, 1979. Tehran, Iran. It starts on a Sunday morning. A mob storms the United States Embassy. They overwhelm the guards, break through the gates, and within hours, 66 American diplomats and citizens are bound, blindfolded, and being paraded in front of cameras. The images flash across every television in America. A superpower, humiliated in real time. President Jimmy Carter watches from the White House. He has options: military strikes, negotiations, sanctions. But every option comes with a cost. A military strike could kill the hostages. Negotiations are going nowhere, and the American public is watching the clock. Days pass, then weeks, then months. The hostages are still there. Inside the Pentagon, pressure is building. Someone needs to do something. And quietly, in a corner of the American military that almost nobody knows about, a plan starts to take shape. Colonel Charlie Beckwith has been fighting for years to build something the U.S. military didn't have, a true special operations counterterrorism unit, modeled after the British SAS. Small, elite, ruthless, precise. He called it 1st Special Forces Operational Detachment Delta. The world would come to know it simply as Delta Force. Delta Force had only been officially activated in November of 1977. It had barely 2 years of existence when the hostage crisis began. Its operators were extraordinary, hand-selected, brutally trained, some of the finest soldiers ever to wear an American uniform. But the unit had never run a real mission. It had never been tested under fire. That was about to change. Beckwith pitched a plan to rescue the hostages. It was bold, it was complex, and it required almost everything to go right at exactly the right time. The plan was called Operation Eagle Claw. Here's what the mission was supposed to look like. Delta Force operators would fly in secretly on C-130 transport planes, landing at a remote staging area in the Iranian desert codenamed Desert 1. There they would meet up with 8 Navy RH-53D helicopters launched from the USS Nimitz in the Gulf of Oman. The helicopters would refuel at Desert 1, then carry the Delta operators forward to a hiding area closer to Tehran. The next night, the team would drive into the city in disguised trucks, storm the embassy, free the hostages, and extract them to a nearby soccer stadium where the helicopters would pick everyone up. On April 24th, 1980, the mission launched. The problems start almost immediately. The 8 helicopters lift off from the Nimitz and head toward Iran. They are flying in darkness, at low altitude, under strict radio silence. Then the weather changes. The helicopters fly straight into a haboob, a massive wall of dust and sand that stretches for miles. Visibility drops to almost zero. The pilots are flying blind through a choking storm they didn't know was coming. The intelligence briefings hadn't warned them. The forecasters hadn't seen it. One pilot makes a decision. He turns back. His helicopter returns to the Nimitz. That's one down. Then a second helicopter develops a critical hydraulic failure. That pilot also turns back. 2 helicopters gone before a single Delta operator reaches the ground. The remaining 6 push through the storm. They are late. They are stressed. And when they finally reach Desert 1, the remote desert staging point, they find something nobody planned for. A bus full of Iranian civilians has driven directly through the landing zone. The Delta operators scramble. They stop the bus, detain the passengers, and hold them at gunpoint. This was supposed to be a secret mission. In the middle of the Iranian desert, they are now managing a busload of prisoners. But it gets worse. A fuel tanker drives by. The soldiers try to stop it. The driver panics and bolts. Another passenger in the truck throws out a flare, and the tanker explodes into a massive ball of fire. In the pitch black of the Iranian desert, there is now a burning truck lighting up the night sky for miles. The mission clock is ticking. Beckwith is on the ground, surveying his situation. He has 6 helicopters. 6 is the minimum number needed to carry his operators and the hostages. Then he gets the report on helicopter number 6, a second hydraulic failure. This one is worse. The crew chief is adamant. The bird cannot fly the next leg safely. Beckwith does the math. He picks up the radio.
I repeat,
he makes the call that will haunt him for the rest of his life. Abort. The word goes out. The mission is over. Now comes the hard part. It's a tight, chaotic scene. The desert floor is crowded with aircraft, operators, and a bus full of terrified Iranian civilians. Rotor wash is everywhere. Dust is swirling. And then, in one of the most tragic moments in American military history, something goes wrong that nobody planned for. One of the RH-53 helicopters moves to reposition. In the darkness and the dust, the pilot misjudges his position. The rotor blade of the helicopter slices directly into a C-130 transport aircraft. The fuel ignites. The explosion is immediate and massive. Both aircraft are consumed in seconds. 8 American servicemen, Air Force crew and Marine helicopter crew, are killed instantly. Their bodies are trapped in the burning wreckage. The surviving Delta operators can only watch. The decision is made to abandon the remaining helicopters. Everything goes. Equipment, documents, sensitive materials left behind in the Iranian desert. The surviving soldiers load onto the remaining C-130s and get out. They leave the burning wreckage behind. President Carter addresses the nation the next morning. His voice is steady, but the weight is visible.
8 of the crewmen of the 2 aircraft which collided were killed, and several other Americans were hurt in the accident.
The Iranians, meanwhile, move quickly. They recover the abandoned helicopters. They find the classified documents left behind. They parade the wreckage on state television. They move the hostages to different locations across the country, scattering them so that any future rescue attempt becomes even harder. And they humiliate America again on the world stage. The fallout inside the government is brutal. Careers end. Investigations begin. But inside the special operations community, something else is happening. The failure of Eagle Claw exposes something that the military has been unwilling to admit. The different branches don't work well together. The Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, each operates in its own world with its own culture and its own priorities. Eagle Claw tried to bolt them together overnight. It didn't work. The investigation that follows leads directly to one of the most important military reforms in American history. In 1987, Congress passes the Nunn-Cohen Amendment. It establishes the United States Special Operations Command, SOCOM, a unified command that oversees all special operations forces across every branch of the military. On January 20th, 1981, the exact moment Ronald Reagan is sworn in as president, Iran releases all 52 remaining American hostages. They had been held for 444 days. The timing was not a coincidence. It was one final act of humiliation aimed at Carter. But Carter never sent them in again after Eagle Claw. And now, with an election lost, too much personally. For Delta Force, the story doesn't end in the desert. Beckwith retires, but the unit grows. It learns from Eagle Claw at every level. New training is developed for joint operations. New selection standards are set for pilots who will work with special operations forces. New equipment, new tactics, new doctrine. The unit that nearly fell apart in the Iranian desert becomes the most capable direct action force in the history of warfare. They go on to operate in Grenada, Panama, Somalia, Iraq, Afghanistan, and dozens of other places the public will never know about. But every operator who passes through Delta Force training knows the story. They know about Desert One. They know about the 8 men who died there. They know what it cost to get it wrong.